Okay, so remember, CNN's first witness for the San Bernardino shooting was a man in a Freemason hat. What I want you to recognize about this symbol is the compass and the square, like you once used in your geometry class in middle school or high school. These are tools used for measurement. And in all of these shootings that are for agenda, they are coded with certain numbers and they are spaced out by a significant amount of days, which I will show how was true in the San Bernardino shooting of December 2nd. Notice first that San Bernardino has a gematria of 222 and 114. San Bernardino in history was established on August 10th, and August 10th, Truth Seeker, is the 222nd day of the year. Also in leap years, it's the 223rd day of the year. Remember, 223, the number for Masonic. If you're not aware, McDonald's, its first restaurant, was established in San Bernardino. And Ray Kroc is a Freemason. Ray Kroc also originated out of Chicago, which is a Zionist stronghold. And if you read the details of this story, the shooter, the male, the married man, father of 6-month-old, who makes pipe bombs, he's from Chicago as well. As I point out routinely in these stories, the people used have identities that trace to Chicago, the Zionist stronghold. So, San Bernardino has gematria of 222 and 114. The shooting on December 2nd came exactly 114 days after the city's birthday, or a span of 3 months and 22 days, 322, like the Masonic number. This is no coincidence. This is how the Masons operate. They use the calendar, they use the language, they use all of this coding that I am teaching you and probably more that I am not aware of. I share what I know, what I have learned from my research. And I hope, and my wish, is that you learn these skills, apply them, and teach them too, because I want this knowledge to spread so these people can be defeated, have their wrongdoing brought into the light, because right now it is in the darkness. San Bernardino is named after Bernardino of Siena, having gematria of 88, just like the state California. Only Maryland and California have gematria of 88. The early details of this shooting, they first said it was 3 white men that were on the loose. Notice that 3 men has gematria of 88 like California, possibly why they coded that false detail. And remember, Truth Seeker, they're really all false details. Also, very quickly, I want to review the initial report that I made my first video on when there was almost no information. What stood out to me right away was the location of the shooting. If you want to apply these gematria skills, this is what you apply them to. The date, the location, the street names, and then the accused and the suspect names. Within that information, you are going to find these same numbers that get coded again and again. This is where the fingerprints are of who is really responsible and for what has really been done. Just as I just showed you here with the coding of the city, how it was established on a date that corresponds with the name. This is how the Freemasons have always operated. This happened in the 1800s. It's still going on now, nearly 150 years later. And again, it was going on even well before 1869. This coding by the numbers predates this nation. The Masons have been around for thousands of years. As for the location of the shooting, it happened on Orange Show Road. Orange Show Road stands out right away because the gematria of it is 147, like the word police in Jewish gematria. So often the details coded have to do with the police. It is because they are the ones overseeing each of these local, citywide hoaxes. Orange Show Road also has gematria of 66, one of these multiples of 11 that's important. If you write out the word 33 in Summit, it sums to 66. San Bernardino is also known as the Inland Empire, which has gematria of 66, a number relevant to the city. As for the color orange, which routinely gets coded in a number of ways, it is the only color with a gematria of 33. And look at how the gematria of orange is identical to the gematria of police. 33 and 60, 33 and 60. One last point about 114. We are living in the time of the 114th Congress. The 114th Congress has actively been debating new gun legislation. They've also been debating legislation on Planned Parenthood. Just days before this shooting, we had a shooting in Colorado Springs, Colorado, at a Planned Parenthood, uniting two federal talking points in one story. And it was also heavily coded with this number 114. In that video, I made the point. The coding has to do with the 114th Congress. While this shooting was going on in Los Angeles, the city council voted 11-4 to allow police officers to have longer gun clips, those police officers who are retired now living in the civilian community. And the ruling was, once a police officer, always a police officer. We need our retired police vigilant and capable should anything cross their path. 11-4 vote, though, while this shooting was going on in neighboring Los Angeles. The other shooting, the cross street, was Waterman Avenue. Waterman Avenue has gematria of 42, the small way, 123, the big way. Freemason equals 42. Conspiracy equals 123. So those were the early details. That was enough for me to say, okay, here's another hoax by the numbers. Plus, they gave us the man in the Freemason hat, adding insult to injury. It has since come out that the San Bernardino police on November 30th, 2 days before the shooting, were having an active shooter drill in Victorville, California, which is just 40 miles north of San Bernardino, but it was put on by the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department. Check this out with regards to the school, Truth Seeker. Victorville Valley College equals 88, like San Bernardino of Siena, where the name comes from, like California. Notice that Victor is also a 33 word. The name in simple English gematria, Victor Valley College, sums to 223, the number for Masonic. This is no coincidence. I showed how this same thing was done in Colorado Springs. They had active shooter drills 47 days and 74 days before their shootings reported in the media, including the Planned Parenthood one, which came 74 days later. And the location, the mall they had it at, had their related coded gematria for Freemasons. Redundant patterns. Also, Truth Seeker, in this story, it was a holiday party that was shot up. Holiday has the gematria of 74. I recently did a video on the history of Thanksgiving. The first Thanksgiving was recognized as a National Remembrance Day by George Washington on November 26th. Exactly 74 years later, Abraham Lincoln made it a national annual holiday on November 26th. A span of 74 years when the word holiday equals 74. Also, we're talking about the nation, the United States, where the birthday is 7-4, July 4th. VVC, the school, also has gematria of 47, the acronym, the reflection of 74, another very important number. The shooting drill is a big enough clue. You learn this gematria, you can really see the deeper level, the deeper layers behind it. And again, Truth Seeker, early in the day, before they said that the shooting suspects were a man and woman, Middle Eastern people, they said that it was 1 to 3 white males. Notice the gematria of white male, Truth Seeker, on the screen. White male equals 42, the small way, 96, the big way. The ranging degrees of Scottish Rite Freemasonry are 31, 32, 33, summing to 96. Gematria of Freemason, perfect sync. Also that California 3 men again. And then throughout the day, we were showing photos like this. Helicopters above showing people standing around. The reason why is because these are first responders participating in a drill that is said to be something it is not. And the reason they all keep their mouths shut is because they're part of this Masonic order. They believe in their agenda. So by night's end, we had these headlines. Suspects in mass shooting identified. CNN did a double-coded headline, something I've never seen them do before, but the numbers they coded were interesting. 2 shooters killed after SUV chase has gematria of 113. The words mainstream and dishonest equal 113. In the Bava Kama, A113 says a Jew can circumvent a Gentile by lying to them. A Gentile is a non-Jew. It is no coincidence that this is what's coded into our language, this number 113 for mainstream and dishonest, and a number that they routinely code into these shooting hoaxes. 14 die at holiday party has gematria of 85, the reflection of 58, Freemasonry equals 58. 58 and 85 often get coded in shooting hoaxes. The word matrix has a gematria of 85. I theorize that they code 85 for this reason. They're making us live within this matrix of false knowledge, false information presented to us by our media and our government. With regards to them saying it was a man and woman, that is another clever way of possibly coding 113. Man and woman, the small way, equals 41, the 13th prime. San Bernardino Police Department has gematria of 41, a number relevant to their city as well. When you write out 14, the number supposedly dead, it has gematria of 41. Supposedly this man and woman, this husband and wife, killed 14. They say that the couple's from San Bernardino, but they show this SUV they were shot up in with Utah plates, which is really weird. In regards to the Utah plates, it should be noted that San Bernardino is a Mormon stronghold historically, and very recently there was a possibly related story out of Utah. If you missed this, the details came out at the end of November, but the story goes back to October. It's that a man named Cameron Carl Crime Fighter, age 31, walked into the Capitol building in Utah and left an AK-47 on the ground. His name, Cameron Carl Crime Fighter, which is said to be his birth name, has CCC initials. C is the third letter. Notice that Cameron is a name with 33 gematria, and in the media they gave us this image of him, Truth Seeker. This is Cameron Carl Crime Fighter posing in his Masonic lodge. The composite square can be made out in the background. In the story, he walked to the center of the Capitol building supposedly just before 3:30. The surveillance video they gave of him was a minute 37 long. Remember, 137 is the 33rd prime number. And also, Truth Seeker, if you watch the minute 37 surveillance, from the second 38 to the second minute 11, which is a span of 33 seconds, he is on his knees with his hands in the air for exactly 33 seconds in this video. It shows you how well coordinated and planned out this event was. Supposedly, Carl Cameron Crime Fighter is helping take a stand against the ongoing violence and shootings in the media. And what I'm wondering is if this was a clue for what was to come in San Bernardino. Also, I want you to notice the coding within this tiling. If you can see this, there's 1 tile, 2 tiles, 3 tiles, 4 tiles, 5 tiles, 6 tiles, 7, 8, and then 9. And there are 3 groupings like this in each of these sections. 3 groupings of 9 tiles, a lot like the numbers 39 and 93, connected to Israel's Neset, connected to Thelema, connected to Saturn worship. The number 93 is also the number of propaganda. The shooters in this story are said to be this married couple, Syed Rizwan Farouk and Tashfeen Malik. Notice the name Syed Rizwan Farouk equals 84 like United States of America and 93 like propaganda. The woman's name has the 33 coding. Also, the man's name with just first and last name, Syed Farouk, has gematria of 47 and 56 like Star of David, and the big way, 119, also like Star of David and All-Seeing Eye, the big way. Talked about how the leader of the anti-Mason party disappeared on September 11th, 11/9. This coding, once you know to see it, is all abound.